I'm going to be spilling out some truths today, so warning, if you feel like you may be triggered because you may be a victim, or if you feel like you may feel offended because you are a parental alienator, then I really suggest you turn this off right now. The truth is going to be spoken, and it starts right now. Welcome to Let's Just Sarah. This is Melissa, Tara's mom, and today we're going to be talking about parental alienation, a subject that is constantly shrugged off the government's shoulders and legislation. Please remember, my vlog is only for entertainment purposes only. This is no professional legal advice, no professional mental health advice or treatment, no professional life coaching. What is parental alienation? Parental alienation is when the children and the targeted parent become a victim, manipulation, isolation, brainwashing. And I want to get this out of the way. Parental alienation is not or does not happen under these circumstances when two parents made an agreement and the other biological parent gave the rights away to the other parent. An agreement was made that that child was going to be raised by the other biological parent, or when a child obviously is adopted, or due to the voluntary absence of a parent. What do I mean by that? The parent has promised to become a part of the child's life even though they haven't, and it's a cycle that keeps going over and over. There are no show and so on. That doesn't count. Also, parental alienation cannot be used when the parent that is in charge of the child, let's say, for example, moves over to a driving distance, like let's say, for example, 2, 3 hours, 4 hours in the same state, because they found a job elsewhere, or because they thought they were going to have a better life or better opportunity for the child elsewhere. And because of that, if the other parent feels alienated because of that, that's not a valid excuse. I will explain to you what it is. A parental alienator is always a narcissist with capital letters. It is a person that out of revenge or out of self-empowerment purposely isolates the child from the targeted parent. It can happen all of a sudden, or can happen in a very slow and steady, painful way. There's mild alienation, and then there's also the severe alienation. With mild alienation, you're going to see a lot of parents playing a game. They like to play a lot of mind games. They give a little bit of control to you, but then they do something to make you feel horrible so they can regain control back, and they get satisfaction out of that. It is completely very applicable to a narcissistic trait, right? And if you, as a targeted parent, in any way complains, they're going to scream to the whole entire world that you are trying to play the victim here. Basically, only a narcissistic person would do that. And we're not talking about biological parents only. This could happen. This can come from grandparents as well. But I am going to explain to you guys now why, because I'm pretty sure that you guys are wonder, how come a person just lets parental alienation happen? These narcissists prefer and love to have as a victim somebody that already is in a vulnerable state. And these people that are in a vulnerable state is because of different reasons. And number one, they have already been abused psychologically by the parent that, or the grandparent that is in charge now. They take advantage of the situation that the parent, the target, is going through. Like, for example, they're going through financial hardship, or maybe they're just going through a situation in court that is totally something that can be resolved. But they still will take advantage of that moment in time where you're completely vulnerable, to take away that child or children from you. And usually that targeted parent does not have write this down, they do not have the support system available. Number one, because these people that are supposedly our family, they don't really care. Number two, it could be because you're scared of the alienating parent or grandparent. While this situation continues being unveiled, the target parent finds himself or herself without options. Why? Because they're out of money, so they feel like they can't fight something like this in court, and they just simply don't have that cushion, that support system. Now, I'm going to talk about very important things, so it's very important that you really don't miss a second. Now, I'm going to talk about what does court and the judges think actually about this. So here's the thing. The lawyers are out there to help you, but you have to be careful too, because as much as we love lawyers, they have to make a living too. And if they tell you, hey, I don't really think I'm going to be useful for you because this is going to be very hard to prove, they're not going to tell you that. This is what they may tell you. This is just my opinion, okay? They might tell you, okay, here's what you gotta do. You gotta make sure that, according to the state laws here, you have to make sure that you make a certain amount of money per month. You have to make sure that you have an apartment or a house with a certain amount of rooms, depending on the amount of children that you would be claiming. And you would have to provide evidence. Sometimes they might tell you that, you have to collect all the evidence and all that documentation that you have. But here's the thing. Even when you go to court and you fight that, you could bring text messages, and most of the time, the courts are going to think that that's just beef between you and the other parent, and then they just shrug it off their shoulders. And I have seen a lot of people go through that and lose a lot of money because of that. So what happens? What to do? Okay, I am not a lawyer. I cannot give you professional advice with this, but this is what I would do. As you may already know, while you are trying to establish yourself back and get back on your feet as a target from parental alienation, years may go by, right? So during those years, the narcissist, I'm going to call it narcissist because that's what they are. The narcissist will keep feeding and poisoning the children into thinking that the other parent is a bad parent. They left them, they abandoned them. It was their fault that they are not in their lives. So by the time that you bring this to court, this is an example and just my opinion, those kids may already be resistant to even want to see you because of how they were raised, because of all the tactics that narcissist utilized to put those children against you. What I would do is, if I needed therapy, I will go to a therapist. I will continue growing personally. I would not continue to scream to the world that I am a victim, because there's a lot of stigma, and everybody that is not educated is going to point fingers at you. The best thing that you can do is, in my opinion, again, those children are going to grow up at some point. Once they become adults, and once the years have gone by, they're going to realize that they were put under stress and under pain unnecessarily, that they were lied to, that they were manipulated into thinking that the other parent was bad. And this might not happen right away. This happens overnight as soon as they turn 18 or 21. It does take a while because that child has already grown with that type of trauma. So you have to give them time for them to internalize everything that is going on. And once they become older, There's going to be one day, one point in their lives where they're going to go through something that it's going to just pop in their heads. And they're going to realize and say to themselves, wow, all those times that my other parent tried to reach out to me and I resisted and said no because you left me or you abandoned me or because it's your fault. All those things weren't really there. My parent was a victim and I was a victim of parental alienation. That's what's going to happen. So this video is to create awareness and to try to bring a little bit of education as best as I can. Why? Because this topic, if you stayed watching this video, this topic is going to be included in my mystery project that is going to be a bombshell that will be coming out one of these days. And it's going to be part, this video, of my mystery playlist number 1, or the mystery playlist that has no number next to it. Trust me, when the project comes out, you will know, because I'm going to make sure that I make that announcement and post that video in the mystery playlist. So bookmark that mystery playlist because it's going to be good. I'm going to be adding this video to mystery playlist, mental health playlist, lifestyle and parenting playlist. If you go to those playlists, you're going to find also a whole bunch of videos related to mental health, parenting, and all the subjects that are going to be included in my mystery project from the mystery playlist number 1. I have currently 2 mystery playlists. They are 2 different projects, but go ahead. You're going to find those links also to those playlists right below in my description. I want to thank you so much for spending this little time with me today. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos because more is coming. Have an amazing day. Bye.